The first of our 9 business building blocks is called the customer segment. Every business is going to have one or multiple different customer segments, and this is the question you need to ask is, what are we creating value for the customer? Who are our most important customers? And we can classify these customer segments into 5 predominant groups. And what I'd like to do is look at each of these groups now. The first one, the mass market. Second one is the niche market, segmented market, diversified, and finally the multi-sided. So what we'll do first of all then is look at the mass market. So if your customer segmentation is defined as a mass market, what does that look like? Now this type of market encompasses, for example, a lot of the electronics goods manufacturers and also like the white good manufacturers. So for example, if I wanted to have a fridge or whatever for my kitchen and I was a manufacturer of fridges, I would target a large number, very broad market of millions of people. There's very little differentiation between each customer. So unlike some of the other market segments we're going to look at, this is a very broad one. The next market segment we want to look at is the niche market. And if you feel that your company is going to be targeting this type of customer segment, there's going to be a couple of specific requirements within it. So again, to use an example, we could use the example of a parts manufacturer and say this manufacturer in this example is manufacturing wheels for the automotive industry. So the customer of this manufacturing customer is the auto industry, and his wheels are used in the manufacture of vehicles. So unlike the market we saw before, this is a very specific type of customer. The third type of customer is what we call the segmented customer segment. So we're kind of using that word twice there. And some businesses will, segment their different parts based on needs and problems. And these customers may have somewhat, at first appearance, a lot of things in common. So say we take a bank, for example, and this bank has 2 different types of customer. The first customer is, we'll call Jane. And Jane has assets of less than $10,000. And the bank chooses to service Jane with checking and ATM facilities and so on. Now another type of customer the bank may have is called Bill. Bill is a big cheese, big wedge of cheese, because Bill has assets in excess of $10 million. And although the bank has customers that it's servicing, they're both banking customers, Jane and Bill are segmented into very different types of segment for the bank with different offerings. The next type of customer segment we call the diversified customer. And this is when a business develops multiple different customers. We'll just take 2 for example, and they're very, very unrelated, unlike the segmented business we saw. So Amazon is a good example of this. So Amazon.com, when it launched its business, it started selling books, and you or me could go along and purchase a book, and then later on we could get a camera, and now we can buy virtually anything we want. Now what Amazon found was as its business grew, its IT infrastructure was something that was going to be very appealing to other businesses. And so what Amazon did was it opened up its cloud-based technology that it used to run its business over here that you and me go, and it started offering this cloud-based technology to business customers. So now what Amazon has, it has business customers and it has consumer customers, and these are not related. So there we see an example of our diversified business. And the final one I'd like to talk to you about is the multi-platform. And as the name suggests here, this is when a company has, it's similar in some ways to the diversified, but there's actually an interdependence between the two groups. So what I mean by that is, let's put back our M to start with. Let's take Visa, for example. Now Visa are in the business of providing credit cards. So here's Jack. He goes off to his local dog store and purchases a big bag of dog biscuits using his Visa card. Now, at the same time, Visa also has a customer in the dog store. It has a merchant customer. Now, both merchant and consumer here are interdependent on each other. Neither happens or neither can survive without the other. So the multi-platform customer segmentation like Visa, it has two different types of customer that have some relationship. So those are now the different customer segments that we saw. We saw the mass market, we saw the niche market, the segmented, diversified, and finally the multi-sided customer segment.